Well, first of all, Jesus valued children. So I want the children to enjoy being in church and enjoy God. Now, there is a both and. I think it's really important there's a duty as well as a joy. So I think for some people, they just want joy, and if it's not enjoyable, they're not going to do it. Well, they need to learn to be faithful through thick and thin. But if it's just duty, then we've lost the plot, isn't it? People follow Jesus. You don't get kids following Jesus if he's boring. So the church sometimes has managed to make Jesus dull, which in a way is quite an achievement. So we're trying to make it good for them. And I think, like in your home, children change your home. They shouldn't dominate it, but they do change it, and rightly so. And I suppose at any one time you'd expect some children in church to be a pain, and they'll probably be your star players a bit later. And also there are children with special needs, and it's how do you handle all those situations as best you can, but which values the individual and loves them. And I always think Jesus did get exasperated with his colleagues. He said to the disciples, how much longer must I put up with you? So there is a godly grumbling, but often it's ungodly. So it's how do we value them? And I think there can be a danger of putting children to be too precious. They need to fit in, they need to learn to be part of it. But on the other hand, they are terribly important. And it's how do you do that, and how do you encourage families? How do you grow the relationships of the single people so they value families? So it's not just family, it's also to think of the singles. We had a time when we had what we call climbing brownies in climbing, so that there's some of the older ladies who went in and they prayed for the children. It was a nice way of linking them together. But the world does lots of stuff on all the physical things. The church must do spiritual and must help people do spiritual parenting. And some of it's about living in grace, isn't it? Modelling how do you forgive? How do you process when there's pain? How do you handle difficult situations? How, as a parent, you can say sorry when you've got things wrong?